So what that looks like is, going to a room, going to someplace quiet and just going there, praying to the Lord, pressing in. And like you said, like this is something that's repeated, that's cultivated over time. This isn't just like, oh, a one and done. Thanks God, I got it from here. No, this is something we're doing continually. And yeah, to just keep pressing in into our secret place, keep going after God. And again, He may give you the vision that first time you press in. It may be after a while. God's timing is always different from everybody. It's not going to look the same for one person. And so, yeah, just continue seeking the face of Jesus. Continue to pray into that. Page out of order. And then when we see vision, vision is replicated by our Father in heaven. So as you said, the Lord's vision has always been community and unity with us. We see in Revelation 13:8, we see that Jesus. It says the Lamb was slain before the foundations of the earth. He already had a plan and vision laid out so that we could be in perfect fellowship with Him, so that we could go seek Him in our secret place, so that we could have perfect community and close relationship with Him. It says before the foundations of the earth. So before the earth was made, God's plan for this earth, for all the trees, the animals, was always to be for us so that we can have perfect community with Him. That was always His plan. That was always His vision for our lives. And we see He had it laid out since the beginning. He already had everything planned out down to a T. And so we need to keep this vision and never lose sight of it, always being reminding of ourselves of this vision, because we see instances of the Bible of what happens when we do lose sight of God, when we do lose sight of the vision that He has in our life. We see in 2 Samuel 11, David had just gone back from winning a huge battle against the Ammonites and the Syrians. David got comfortable in his victory and returned back home. And when we turn back home, that's when we see he falls to his sin, when he ends up being with Bathsheba and sending Uriah to the front lines of, when we were at our highest moment, when, we were walking in the vision that God gave us, to continue walking in it, continue reminding of ourselves of that vision so that we don't get too comfortable and too confident within ourselves, and continue that humility of the vision that God has given us. So, I'm just thinking of times where it could be simple, like I'm trying to get tasks done, I get sidetracked. If it's like grading or lesson planning, if I don't do it in the specific order and plan that I have set out for myself, I end up getting like none of this done. Or if I'm, doing chores around the house, I'm like, okay, I need to do X, Y, Z. But then my mind starts going off on tangents, and then next thing I know, like my laundry's still out while I'm trying to do other things, and now my dad's yelling at me. And so, it's just making sure we're always reminding ourselves of like vision, even if it's little tasks like that, but specifically, what God has and stored in our lives. And then again, another example we see in the Bible is after the Israelites are freed from slavery, they're out of the land of Egypt, and they're now traversing to the promised land to go up a mountain. As Moses is gaining vision, we see the Israelites themselves lose sight of their vision. In Exodus 4:30 through 31, it says, Aaron told them everything the Lord had told them, and Moses performed the miraculous signs as they watched. Of Israel were convinced that the Lord had sent Moses and Aaron. When they heard that the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down. And the Israelites had the vision. They knew why they were being sent out of Egypt. They knew they had a promised land set out for them. As we see, when Moses goes up to the mountain, they lose sight of that vision, and we see that's where the golden calf comes, enters into them, and because they have lost sight of their vision. So it's important that, we're reminding ourselves of that vision, because the time from when they heard about the vision from Aaron, it's up that mountain, it's only about 30, 40 days in between. And in those 30, 40 days, they had already lost sight of God. They have lost sight of the vision that God He had for them.
So how do we not lose that vision? How do we keep it? How do we sustain it? We have to share it. Share it to other people. Let them in on it. Let them know what your life vision is, so that way they can hold you accountable, or that they can walk in it with you, be like, OMG, I want to do that too. And now you got a buddy. Now a buddy system. So reshare it. When they forget, you reshare it over them. You reshare it to yourself. Remind yourself of it. I know for me, like, I couldn't even tell you what my New Year's resolutions were this year. And that's on me. But imagine if I knew them. I might actually be doing them. So, like, just keep reminding yourself. I don't know what that looks like for you. I know that, like, we have set, like, kind of visual, like, we've written down our visions and put it in places where we can see it. But whatever that's going to look like to, like, reshare and remember. And I know that Isai brought up, like, it's Hebrew, right? The Hebrew version of vision that we're taking this out of. It's like, all right, huzzah. So that specific one is used in that Proverbs 29:18, which I love because I just love stumble all over themselves. They run wild. But that specific wording of vision is also used, this getting vision from God when he goes up the mountain. And it's also used in Habakkuk 2:2. And it says, the Lord said, write and make it plain that he may run who reads it. Vision, we just got to write it out, dude. You know, put it somewhere you can see it. I have got some laundry to do, some homework to do. I just got to write it out. And there's even like studies. There's a study from Harvard Business, which I don't know if they're smart or whatever, so take it how you want it. But they did people about like goals and goal setting and what goals they had. 83% of the people just didn't have goals. No goals, not a thought in their head. Percent had goals, they had plans, but it was like they just thought about it. They just had it in their brain. They're like, yeah, I know what I want to do. Those people who just knew it, they were 10 times more likely to see though and like accomplish them than those who just hadn't crossed their minds. I mean, obviously, how are you supposed to accomplish something if you've never even thought about it? I didn't go to Harvard, so I don't know what I'm talking about. So even just receiving that vision, you're already likely to walk it out than just accidentally doing it. Actually written, they were 3 times more likely than the people who had just thought about it. So what's the math on that?
Times 30.
They're 30 times more likely to actually accomplish it than if you just didn't even do anything in the beginning. So there's something about